rig.
Okay. Yeah, I drive a truck. Now, what was your question, sir?
So did you manage to get complete access to the Social Security?
No, if I had access to that, you wouldn't be talking to me.
Would be on this line right now.
Because I sure wouldn't be talking about it, because there would be NDAs signed that have a death penalty attached to those NDAs.
Okay, so in the trust setup, the living trust setup, where would I fit the special needs trust? Because I'm going to put a special needs trust inside of the living trust, and then I'm going to do another, like either a foundation or an LLC in there as the operable transmitting utility. So the living trust is going to have inside of it.
How about this, Iona?
Because wait 1 second. Let me tell you something. The special needs trust is an irrevocable trust for those with disabilities, so that they can have funds. But check this out. There's one that the grantor is also the beneficiary, and that this is written by these lawyers that do the trust for freaking the Rothschilds. Now there's one that basically, listen, this one though, when you died, this is the only one where all the property can go to who you choose. The other ones go back to the state. So I'm gonna buy the one that's for the one that the property goes to who you choose, and I was gonna put that inside of my living trust.
What do you mean buy the one you buy it? What do you mean?
Well, because remember, I wasn't walking and talking a year ago, so I had a lawyer when I got hit and had brain injury, and I didn't know I had brain injury, but I got very ill, and they wrote me up a trust a couple of years ago, even though I never got a settlement because it took too long for them to get me the settlement and the trust. So I said, screw this, let's go to jury, even though I'm just playing poker. Anyways, the trust they gave me was a special needs trust, but I found a site where I have access to other ones, and it's like $300 versus like $2,000 or $3,000.
I don't know how you're going to pay for it. You told me you don't have the money to pay for anything.
Well, when I get the funds released, I will have money to pay for it. When
Okay,
they
what
give me
funds?
the settlement.
You talking about the settlement? Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of worrying about how to set it up right now, continue to concentrate on book one of Passing the Bucks, on Passing Bucks, the book you're going through. Because once you get volume one done and you get that understanding, volume two will go into how to set everything up. Because I can't tell you how to set it up. All I can tell you is what I would do, or I can tell you how it should operate. But in that book, they will tell you what to do, because why? You've already went through the basics, volume one.
Yeah.
Iona, can you set up a time? Just name a time and we'll set it up to read the rest of that book. You keep working on that.
Okay.
Because a lot of your questions are going to get answered in that book. That's why I tell people about it. I just had a guy that joined my Patreon, and we did phone calls with him, and he went and purchased the books. But he had the money, because getting both those books in paperback are almost $600.
No, the first one's like $900.
No, the first one is $50.
Okay,
sorry. The second one is $550.
Oh, I didn't see it that cheap. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, well, because you're looking in the wrong place. You're not looking on their website. You go to Amazon where people sell them,
No, I went to thrift. I went to all the thrift bookstores, but you can make presumption. Yeah.
Go to passingbucks.com and look on their website. If you buy both the books together, they give them to you at a discount. If you buy them one at a time, you're going to pay max price. But if you don't have money, you don't need to buy them because the PDFs are in the group.
I waited 5 years to see something like that. I rang them. No, it might be 2 or 3 years ago. She rang their office once.
That's the one thing that unfortunately, it's no offense to anyone. So if the shoe fits, don't take offense. It's one of the things that drives me crazy is I tell people all the time where I get my information from. Go here, read these books, and people still ask the same questions over and over and stick to the same beliefs because why? They don't go get the books. They don't read. And I'm glad to see people reading. I'm glad to see people starting to take it serious and read the information. Because the government, the attorneys in the government will tell you exactly how to do everything. And right now the rumor is, and I warned people, don't do the 1099A. And right now the rumors are, and it could just be rumors, is that they're going after the 1099A people. And I got a funny feeling some of them are going to be charged with paper terrorism because the articles are, and the admissions of the IRS are that doing the 1099 has inundated, the 1099A has inundated the United States and interfered with their normal operations. Well, that's called paper terrorism.
They shouldn't be doing so much crooked stuff.
They're not doing crooked stuff. That's a misconception. The individual may be corrupt, but the government and its rules are neutral.
Well, that's right. It's our fault for not learning too. That's true.
Yeah. Most of the laws they pass are according to the Constitution. The problem is the people don't understand the Constitution. The two most powerful clauses of the Constitution are Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3, which is the Commerce Clause, and Article 1, Section 10, which is the Contract Clause. That's the two most powerful parts of the Constitution, in my opinion. Some people might not agree with that, but that's just my opinion.
Well, we had the spiritual rock on here all night telling us about how we're doomed as long as we're a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, I guess nobody told him about my FOIA request. How can you be something you never applied for?
Continue on Cascade Palmetto Highway.
Well, yeah, that's how I feel. But, you know, some think that you're never going to get access to that account the way that to make a change in this world unless you, you know, make that status change.
Yeah, people talking about the question I ask people says, well, how do I change my status? And I ask them a second question. I say, how do you change something that you don't even know what it is?
Well, you do want to remove the minor disabilities because, you know, I saw some of these trusts written up and it says like, you know, blatantly in there, you know, everything will go to the beneficiaries unless they are minor or incompetent.
Well, most of the people are incompetent.
So you have to prove your competency through action. That's how I see it, or word or will. But I mean, you know, some people think that you need to, you know, get the court to say that.
Yeah, but one of the things you got to do, Iona, and this is where you are bad about doing this. And I
You
understand.
don't know what you don't know whether I'm good or bad about anything.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay, just Iona, don't make a statement at first that we don't know what the truth is.
We know what the truth because we hear you say it all the time. I understand you was in an accident. I understand you had an injury. But look how many people out there had an injury and they do not harp on it. Why? Because out of the mouth comes blessings and cursings. As long as you continue to speak the negative, you will get the negative. You
Oh,
can
but it's
rise
not
above it.
negative. It's not negative.
You
It
don't
was me.
see it that way.
No,
You
I don't,
you
because you asked
hold
me
on.
a question and I
Leona,
answered the truth.
Leona,
No,
what is,
Iona.
what he's
You
trying to say, you're
yeah.
talking it into your life.
You keep saying, I have this problem because of this. I can't remember because of this. That is negative, okay? Because you're already saying, I can't do something. Look, I am just a Southern North Carolina boy that quit high school, went and got my GED, and look at my knowledge. Have I been to college? No. Have I been to any special schools other than truck driving? No. And look at the knowledge I've gained. I come to the realization, I asked God one day, I said, you know, God, I don't have the luxury of sitting at a computer and studying like people and taking notes like you would do in class.
Okay, I know,
I
but
said,
listen,
yeah,
I, it's late. I just want to clear, listen, if someone, I have a strong belief system that if someone says something that's inaccurate or they're misunderstanding, then I need to hold my space and ground, because now you're doing this on a recording that God knows where it's going to be posted. And it's just like, come on, you're completely
I'm not.
disrespecting.
No,
It
I'm
is a
not. I'm
disrespect
trying.
because, listen, it is, because
Somebody explain to her that I'm.
you asked me why do you have a court case, and I had to explain why. So this
Yeah,
isn't negative. This is being honest and truthful. And I said, this is why I had a lawyer, because I couldn't
yeah.
do it myself. This is just the truth. There's
Leona,
nothing negative.
Leona, I don't think he's saying that.
No, I'm not.
Do you know when I had cancer, right? And I'm banned from hospitals, and I had to hire somebody to come and cut it out. And I self-treated myself, and I said to everybody, I'm better now. And now I am getting better. It's because I talk that up into my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I self-treated myself as well, and I'm getting better, but I'm not going to lie about what has
I
occurred.
know, but
No,
It
we're
has
not.
nothing to do with it.
We're not saying lie.
You want
say
me to say a
what I'm
lie?
saying. No, what I'm saying is quit telling everyone I have trouble remembering, because why? You are speaking that into existence. That's the
Okay.
part I'm talking about. Yes, we know you was in an accident. Yes, we know you had a brain injury, but guess what? You can rise above it. You just got to stop saying the negative side, which is I can't. When you say I can't, you are speaking that into existence.
Okay.
We talk
Donna,
about
to be honest, I remember.
vibrations in the esoteric realm, right? That vibrations are everything. Well, that principle is laid out in the
Yeah, and
Bible. It says,
the vibration that you're not good enough is what you're projecting onto me.
correct.
No,
And I'm
No,
telling
no,
you, I don't like
no.
that.
Leona,
And I'm coming back and saying,
it ain't coming. Leona, it ain't coming across like that to me
I'm not
at
saying
all.
you're not good enough. I'm saying you can be better, because the part you continuously say is this: I can't remember, or I can't do this because of this. It's the I can't part that I'm telling you. Train your mind to stop seeing that negative. I deal with this with my wife all the time. My wife is very negative about herself. She puts herself down. And I say, honey, you need to stop. I said, as long as you continue to speak the negative, that's what you are going to continue to receive and see. I think you're smarter than you think you are. I think you can do it.
I mean, she's amazing because I'm like the only female on the chat. Everybody pick on Iona. No, I'm just joking. But she's so much better than before. I think she's how do you say that word? Metamorphosis. She's become, isn't the last couple I've seen the progress. You should have seen before, like she's really helping out a lot. Like
Yeah,
For me,
I know.
anyway.
But I was
That's-
helping
Acknowledge
out
that.
a lot for 3 years in these
Yeah.
these legal groups. You
But
can
your
even ask
communication
Andy.
has even improved. Your communication has improved,
Yes.
and
Yes.
help me too if you guys
Now
can.
I agree with
No, no.
John. I agree with John. The only part I'm saying is
I sat
work
in
on the
Alphonse's
negative.
group and helped people with their legal shit for 2 years with problems I don't even have. You know, because I
Iona.
care.
No, Iona, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I really do mean this for your good. Like I told you earlier, I told you part of my history. I said, God, you're going to have to help me do this. And he helped me in ways I never could have imagined. People ask me, how do you remember all this stuff? I say, honestly, God, I haven't had any special education. Why do I got attorneys in the private that will talk to me about this stuff? Because they respect me. I don't go
Yeah, and
and
why does
say,
everyone respect me in these groups? Because they know
hold
if
on,
they can
hold on,
see
Iona.
that I
Hold
care.
on, hold on. I know you care. What you're not grasping is when you say, I can't do something, that's the negative part I'm talking about. Okay? You need to change that to say, in spite of my injury, I can do this. See
It
how
was
that's
context,
positive?
Pastor. It's context,
Yeah.
though. It was the context of the conversation. It was like, why do you
Yeah.
have this court case? Because I have a lawyer. And then I felt guilty for saying I had a lawyer because you know how people feel about lawyers in these groups.
Oh,
So I had
whatever
to
about
explain
lawyers.
why. So I'm in this explaining myself because I know that people are like, oh, you have a lawyer. That's why you had the problem. I'm like, well, yeah.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying there, but I'm
You
saying,
know, it's like a preemptive explaining because I already
Yeah.
know what people are going to say because they're so predictable.
all I'm saying is take the word can't out of your language and change it to I can. Because can't is negative, can is positive. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I can do the best I can, which should be good enough. And
That's
you
Yeah.
can see what I have to offer and get a lot more out of me if it doesn't always feel like criticism because you know it's never good enough, you know? That's what it feels like. So it's never good enough.
Well,
So
I apologize for making you feel that way. I'm just saying, hey, I was on TikTok last night, and they were telling we were in a live on TikTok, and I was listening, and Mama G, she's very vibrant, very powerful lady to be 4 foot nothing. She looked at the other lady in the group and said the lady was very intimidated, very shy, but very intelligent. And Mama G looked at her and said, look, stop saying the negative. Start saying, I am a powerful woman. And the woman couldn't do it. She would giggle in nervousness.
yeah, but
She
that's the
could
difference.
not say it.
I'm highly misunderstood, and that's the difference. I know my strengths and I know my power, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm also not afraid of saying where my weaknesses are. And if there's someone else that has a problem with that, then that's their problem, not
can I ask you
mine.
something? Pastor, could you turn the recording off, please?
Okay.